So this is how you create easy polymeters inside of Bitwig Studio. We already have here an instrument channel with a polymer synthesizer on it, and we want to create here a node grid in front of the synthesizer to generate some nodes. The node grid itself here is a monophonic mode, that's important. Inside of the grid we want to delete here the node inputs, and we want to create a gates module, and we want to create a transport module. And this was a tip by Crossmod on my Discord, and he said, maybe try this out here. And I also link you the YouTube channel of Crossmod in the description below, so maybe give him a visit and subscription and so on. So he said, maybe use transport here for this, it's basically perfect. And I initially mixed this up with the scalar module, which looks roughly the same, and I also think they changed here the interface of the transport in the last update. So here in 5.1 it looks a bit different. So the transport is basically perfect for this. We have to disable here the precord, the phase precord, and then we just connect these two here. And the step count of the gates goes to maybe something uneven, let's say 10. So the step count is 10. We have now 10 steps here. And we need to set the length of the transport also to 10. To get exactly the speed of 16 nodes, which we can change here with this dropdown, and basically get the same triggering speed out of this, even though we changed here the step count, right? So now we have 10 steps. Each step is triggered by 16 nodes, and we also have here the length of 10. So now we can hook this up here and can generate nodes. Maybe go here to, let's say, D#1. So this is our first lane here. We want to create also a different node. Let's say A#1. And here we want to go to 12, length of 12, also here 12. And now we have a small problem because the phase is a bit offset here with this transport. Not sure if this is a bug or this is intentional. You can see here we trigger at different times here, right? And if you open up here an oscilloscope, take the phase of this one, the phase of this one, you can see they are completely offset here. Even though if we just take this transport and duplicate this transport, it's the same setting here, right? It should be the same phase. You can see it's slightly offset. If we duplicate this here again, you can see it's slightly offset, right? So this is a problem we need to fix, and the fix for that is to use a reset. And you can reset here with the button or maybe with the precord. So this is here then keyboard press. Let's use a reset here. So here we can basically just play a note on the keyboard to reset this. And now these two phase signals are basically aligned here at the beginning, at least, right? That's important. And yeah, you can also say, use a transport playing here and then do this. It doesn't matter. So you need to reset the phase at some point with some kind of logic, but you need to do it. So to have basically roughly the same starting point of these polymeters. So now we have here a polymeter running. And that's basically a simple setup for a polymeter node generation. The important part is, like I said, you need to match basically the step count with the transport length. 10 here, 10 here. We have 12 here, also 12 here, right? That's basically the ugly part. The setup is easy, but when you want to change it, you need to change it in 2 places. And this is also why I showed you in the last video basically this complicated setup, because I liked that you can change the pattern length here with just one knob. So you change the pattern length here and the speed stays the same. So you have just one knob where you change it. And yeah, in a live environment or when you want to modulate things, this is much better than, you know, modulating here the number in 2 different places. So this was my idea. So there's also a different setup for this. So you can say, this was a tip by Omri Cohen, and I roughly knew this before, but like I said, I didn't want to show it because I liked that you can change it just in one place. So this one goes like this. You take a counter and you take a trigger module here. Go to 16 nodes, this is your trigger speed, right? And here you change the pattern length. So when you use a gates module here, disable here the precord, connect these two, and then you set this maybe to, let's say, a 5. You also need to set this here to 5. And now this is exactly 16 nodes triggering speed. And yeah, because of the counter here, we generate basically a phase signal that gives you exactly here the right position and time. And we can then just go here out to a different node, let's say D#2, and duplicate this. And here you don't need to reset. That's a beautiful part of this setup, right? You go to 7 here, and then we need to set this here to 7. But here also you need to set it up or you need to change the value in 2 places, 7 here and 7 here, right? This goes to A2. Oh, here you also get the reset input if you want to use that. I don't know if this is actually here a precode that you can't disable, because it looks exactly like this here, but here you can disable the precode, here you can't. So you probably also have to reset this here with some kind of logic at the beginning of the bar or whenever you want to reset it. So if you want to use this setup with the pitches module, like this one, right? We can also set this here to a step count, let's say 3. Bring in some different nodes, and then use here transport and the reset. Go in here, disable the precord, and this is 3, so we have to set up also 3 here. Then we need the output, and this one goes into the pitch output, of course. And then we need something to trigger this. So we can use the triggers module here, go out, and we have here 16 nodes. So we can set up here 16. And then hit play. Or maybe we use here the playback, transport playback for this. It's probably better. Something like this. And then we'd stop here. Hit play. So we have this playing here and these additional triggers. So let's maybe go here to 5, or let's say 13. Yeah, and that's basically polymeters for you inside of the grid. So 3 different methods, or actually 4 if you count my example here from the last video. And here you maybe need to use a clock quantizer to make this even better. But with my setup, you can change it basically just in one place. The pattern length, you can change it in one place with this value here. And in this setup here, you need to change it always in 2 places for the step count, and then of course here for the transport. But I think polymeters are actually a very nice way of creating interesting patterns or melodies. Maybe I need to use a quantizer here. I'm too lazy. Maybe a step mod here. Oh yeah, step mod are also a nice way of creating polyrhythms here, because you can change the speed setting here, let's say 16 nodes, and you can change the pattern length here, and the speed stays the same, which is really nice. maybe add a reverb here or delay or something. Or maybe combine these here. So I just modulate here by a small amount, and then duplicate here the step mod. Use different settings and also different step length here, let's say 9. And then also modulate this. So now I basically combine or add this modulation value to this modulation value, and they add up in different places because they are polymeters. So I hope this makes everything clearer. So 4 methods of creating polyrhythms. My first one here. Then we have this method here by crossmod. Link is in description. And there's also this method here suggested by Omri Cohen. Link is also in the description. And yeah, I think it's a fun way of creating melodies. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.